Delaware Superior Court Judge Craig Carstens said the town of Fenwick Island was not diluting human votes by allowing companies and other legal entities that own property to cast votes in municipal elections. These legal entities and corporations make up about 12% of registered voters in the town. In total, Delaware has far more corporations chartered in the state than residents. Delaware is where everyone charters their companies because they have very favorable laws for the creation of LLCs or whatever. So, yeah, sure, okay. Judge Carstens rejected the constitutional arguments of the ACLU, including the claim that entity or corporation or corporate votes dilutes the political power of living people. The argument. So what's stopping billionaires from creating millions of fake LLCs to vote with? Well, it wouldn't have to be fake. It could just be LLC. Like they could just do that, you know? Nothing, I guess. Delaware, home to more corporations than people, is a fitting place for reality to outpace satire. The state constitutional provisions expressly enshrining corporate personhood reflect Delaware's budgetary reliance on the billions in fees it raises annually from more than 2 million, not 2 billion, business entities chartered there. It's the fault of the local government because they passed laws that let corporations vote, not the judge's fault. I'm sorry, but we're reaching a degree of civilizational collapse where strong men have to step up and take have to shoulder the weight of civilization, okay? I don't care what the law says. The judge should have ruled the right way. We're getting well beyond the point of like, you know, well, the law says we all have to die. The law demands everyone be raped to death. Yeah, I mean, maybe the law says that, but you know, that's words in a book. I'm a human being with blood running through my veins. You take it up with me. What about strong women? Jury's out. Judge Craig A. Carstens rejected an ACLU challenge to a charter permitting voting in local elections by the entity that owns the property in the town of Fenwick Island, one of several municipalities in the state with similar provisions. Carstens dismissed the lawsuit from Delaware's Superior Court, citing, quote, the principle of one person/entity/one vote. Yippee! Visions of faceless large corporations, or even HAL, controlling a small town are frightening and the stuff of science fiction. But trusts, partnerships, limited liability companies, and corporations are expressly recognized as persons in the Delaware Code. The dispute over municipal voting in a tiny coastal community represents an unusual flashpoint in the decades-long fight over the free speech rights of corporations and the dark money flooding the American electoral system. It really is beyond parody, man. The Citizens United ruling was one thing. We're going to look so foolish to the Europeans. They're going to be chittering with each other over their, fourth cafe break of the day. Did you hear they allow corporations to vote in America? It sounds like a disgusting joke. Dystopian novels could never. If a sci-fi novel opened with, in the year of 2026, America legalized corporations voting in elections as people, I would roll my eyes. What am I to do with this? What am I to do with this? At least no one lives in Delaware? Yeah, sure. So how do you feel about, like, all of the municipal and state elections in Delaware being decided by corporations? How do you feel about the idea of, like, one massive company setting up a million shell companies being able to buy up votes in, like, every municipality in Delaware? Hell, what's stopping them from doing this in federal elections? You want 2 Senate seats controlled by, like, literally directly controlled by corporations? I wonder which party they'll caucus with. Carstens, writing in a 19-page opinion Tuesday, rejected an array of constitutional arguments advanced by the ACLU, including the claim that entity voting dilutes the political power of living people. The lawsuit, quote, does not allege discrimination based on race or political partisanship, show, quote, that entity property owners vote sufficiently as a bloc to usually defeat the preferred candidates of natural persons. Oh, fuck me, dude. Yeah, no. The idea that this judge is just haplessly obeying the existing law is not true. He's rejecting valid constitutional arguments. The idea that granting corporations the right to vote does not allege discrimination based on political partisanship, or that they don't vote sufficiently as a bloc to defeat the preferred interests of natural persons. These are insane arguments to make. This is an activist judge. This person hates life. An enemy of the people. Or assert, quote, that Fenwick Charter distinguishes between natural persons, entity property owners with discriminatory intent to phase out natural persons. The judge says, yeah. God almighty. Or a paid judge? Probably. Yeah, why not? Sure. Delaware corporation voting. Give me a good article on this. Is anyone even talking about it? I see one person talking about it on YouTube right now. Let's see. From 1 hour ago, The Unraveling. Do we have anything? Oh, wonderful. News Nation from 2 years ago. News Nation. How's News Nation going to cover this?
A town in Delaware, got to talk about this, is considering giving more than 200 businesses the right.
This is the law that predicates the ruling.
To vote, and this is causing concern that corporate interests could sway local elections. Seaford, around 85 miles south of Wilmington, recently changed its charter, allowing each business in the town one vote in local elections. Now it's up to the state legislature to give the final okay. So let's bring in Princeton University Politics and Public Affairs Associate Research Scholar Lauren Wright. Lauren, always good to see you. Lots of questions here. There are 234 businesses in Seaford, population 7,000, and only 340 people turned out to the most recent election there. So this has the potential to significantly impact local politics. Explain what elections, first off, locals will be able to vote in.
So it is only these local type.
How is this not federally illegal? Well, I think it should be, but this judge has ruled that it's not. Judges can rule whatever they want, by the way. You know that that in America, judges can just rule against the law and there are no consequences. Like, if a judge consistently and in bad faith rules against the obvious nature of the law, there's not really a consequence to that. Like, they have to go really above and beyond to get in trouble for it.
Races, referendums, actually in Seaford on tax legislation, businesses can already exercise their right to vote, and this is happening in towns across Delaware. It becomes controversial, sometimes gets rolled back. I tend to think this will not go into effect because, as you mentioned, Marky, it does have to pass the state legislature, and in both chambers there, Democrats outnumber Republicans by a 2-to-1 margin. And how
much do corporations outnumber both?
That News Nation's covering this, and The Hill, and CBS News. My guess is people will be sort of outraged by it because it goes against this principle of one person, one vote that we hold dear in this country.
Well,
who benefits from this? Corporations.
Yeah, my next point, when I was reading this story yesterday, I think our brains first go to double dipping. You know, if you're a store owner and you live in town, do you essentially vote twice? I mean, what are the...
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yeah. That seems to be the way it works, yeah.
Rules here.
So the proponents of this measure would say no. They're checking voter rolls so that if you're a business owner in Seaford and a resident in Seaford, you don't vote twice. But you're right.
I'm immensely confused. Can't someone just create 500 companies and claim they can all vote? Yes, that seems to be the... I mean, it's not like a one-day thing. It would take some planning, and I think it says you need to be landowning, so you would have to have some parcel of land. But like potentially, yes, that seems to be the consequence of the law.
You know, if you look in general, if you live outside the town, which many of these people do, and you have a business registered in Seaford, then yes, at large, in general, your vote is counting twice in some way, shape, or form.
But who
is this statewide or not? I think this is municipal in 4 towns that have allowed for it, but it's been the constitutionality of it has been affirmed by a state circuit judge, which means that if they wanted to apply it on a state level, they could probably do so without a legal challenge. It's quite a precedent to set, yeah.
Decides how the business votes? Is it the CEO and who's tracking? Right. Who's tracking?
Vaush, you have that backwards. If you own land, your business does not get a vote. Well, if anything, that makes it even easier to abuse because then you could just set up an LLC and not even own land through the LLC. That seems contrary to me. No, it says that own most of the property. Yeah. It might vary depending on the municipality.
Whether, you know, the CEO's vote was on this ballot and he also voted, you know, at home on a personal... Who's tracking this? I don't understand.
I mean, right. I was trying to look into this, and it seems that the owner of the business, and a lot of these are LLCs where the business is just one person or 2 people. And so it is really hard to tell. I think those are valid questions that...
This is unprecedented, right? Yes, I believe it is.
Is really why this is newsworthy. A lot of people are scratching their heads, and it strikes them on its face as unfair.
And this isn't a completely new idea. Some towns have given corporations the right to vote in elections. How's it worked out for them, and any negative side effects or loopholes there?
I mean, it's been controversial in Rehoboth Beach, where the Biden family has a vacation home, for instance. This has been the case, but it's gone back and forth, and so the
Had to throw that in there.
residents get angry because essentially it's a very common case in Delaware where almost 2 million businesses are registered, including 2/3 of the S&P 500, where property owners, business owners seem to have rights that outweigh the electoral power of their neighbors.
And Lauren, you mentioned anger quickly, just about 30 seconds left. There are some people in favor of it, though. So what are the benefits that you see here?
Well, the mayor is the one who cast the deciding vote at the city council level.
What a surprise.
I think we've seen some responses from Republicans in this.
I just joined. Are we giving corporations the right to vote now? In the state of Delaware, yes. That is, yes.
State legislature that are lukewarm. I think they know this is a lightning rod. And this has been an issue, again, since the apportionment cases in the 1960s in the Supreme Court led by Earl Warren, where we decided legislative districts for this exact reason have to be roughly the same size. So some people's votes don't count more than others. So it's an American ideal. I think it will be controversial and may not come to pass, Marky.
Thank you.
It came to pass. Of course, they're doing a cost benefit. Well, the people at News Nation probably understand that this is in their favor, right? Like they know, like obviously any Republican aligned interests are going to recognize that allowing corporations to vote in municipal elections is only going to benefit them. It's fully passed in the municipalities, yes. It's not a statewide thing in Delaware, though it seems like the path has been cleared,